Sidebar, guys, there's nothing wrong with caring, but the problem was you weren't caring enough for yourself. You weren't caring enough for yourself. That's the care that you needed to have. Instead, you were caring too much for them. You were caring too much for them. Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. This audio is going to be two video responses wrapped up into one. Initially I was going to make this a live chat, but I'm in between sessions right now and I really want to get this content out. So, rather than setting up all the lighting and everything, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and make my audio. All right, but I never go too long without being forward faced with you guys, which is basically having the live chats or making videos where you're actually seeing my face. All right. But I do plan a live chat very soon to do the lowest points that I uploaded about 4 days ago. And that was a forward face video. If you're struggling with depression and suicide, I highly recommend you go watch that video, lowest points. Okay. I'll tag it to the end of this video. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get into the first video reply that I'll be doing here. And she says she's trying to learn how to go from feelings of hating him to indifference. I don't want to care at all. Narc abuse from my egg donor mother made me suicidal several times. My narc abuse from my spouse made me wish someone would push him off a cliff. I hate I wasted so many years with the likes of him. He will not win though. It's tough right now, but I'm determined to live my best life. Thank you so much for your videos. How do I stop caring and get over it? Pisses me off that they can jump from one target to another even while with us, while we are left to pick up the pieces and detox from their nastiness. Okay, so the survivor has a lot going on. All right, so let's talk about it here. She says she's trying to learn how to go from feelings of hating him to indifference. All right, so right there, we're going to stop. And, in a grieving process, we feel a lot of range of emotions. So it's a phase that you're in, chances are. And in time, you will eventually get to the stage of indifference as well. But right now, you're in that stage, chances are, of anger. And when there's 5 stages of grief, and anger is one of them. When you're in that anger stage, it's quite possible that you will partner up with its buddy hate, and it'll be fueling together during that period. Okay, but that feeling of anger actually can fuel you to usually put more distance between you and that person, at least emotionally. Where you're detaching from all that lovey-dovey, but I love him, and all of that love bomb stuff. You're detaching from that. So those feelings of hating him are, dare I say, a positive sign. It can be a positive sign, just as it can be a negative one. But typically speaking, survivors go through different phases. And like I said, that anger can partner up with its cousin hate, and you're going to feel that feeling. But as you continue to do the work, as I see that you're leaving a lot of comments under other videos, you're still actively pursuing your healing, and not only your healing, but your growth. So in time, as you continue to detach from those people, and you know, get that closure from yourself, and you're connecting the dots within yourself, and you're healing that inner child, you will arrive to that point of feeling somewhat indifferent in the situation. And for those of you who don't know what indifference is basically having a lack of interest in something, or something feeling unimportant to you, okay, and not so relevant in your life, basically. So the next thing she says is she doesn't want to care at all. And I want to stop right there too, because the narcissist doesn't care. And I'm certainly not calling you a narcissist, but I want to provide a different perspective, or a shift in the way that you're seeing this. It's not that you care that's the problem here. It's examining what you're caring about versus trying to get to a point of not caring at all. Okay, you should care that this person abused you, and, you know, mistreated you and disrespected you, and, you know, spilled their toxicity on you and your life and around your circumference. There's nothing wrong with caring that that happened, okay? Because a care is, you know, having a concern for something when you care about something. So you should care about that. You should care. But as we begin to have a bigger picture of our experiences, particularly when it comes to narcissistic abuse, and we get out of our somewhat of a victim mentality, we begin to focus on other aspects of things, and we make a shift to where we start caring about other things more. Okay, so yes, you're thinking about all the time that you spent in a relationship, but our emotional maturity says, I wasn't ready to leave yet. I hadn't evolved past a certain point yet. So that's why I stayed in. There's a very logical reason why you stayed in. You hadn't tapped into your inner strength and allowed yourself to move forward. Okay? So once we make certain types of shifts, it becomes a whole lot less about caring about what did that narc say and the technical things that the narcissist did. We think about the spiritual and the inner child and the psychological aspects of the situation. Then we just start caring about, you know what? I care about my peace. I care about my happiness. I care about my balance. See, all of those things are separate from the narcissist. And I know you guys are listening and you're like, that narcissist stole my peace. That narcissist knocked me off balance. But that's something, and I'm going to give you guys some tough love right now. We have to give somebody the authority to do that as adults, okay? Of course, a child that's born into a situation and has to do what a narc parent tells them to do, and she touched on that, and we're about to progress here in her statements, all right? But as an adult, we have to give them permission, and even if we were primed or very accustomed to giving that permission because we were groomed into that as a child, it's still us giving them that nonetheless, all right? So caring is not the problem, it's what you're caring about. And I have a feeling that you do understand that part of it, because you don't want to care about him, okay? You don't want to care about him. And that comes with detaching from the situation, like truly detaching. And sometimes it takes time, you know? Sometimes it takes time, because I see your logic here, and your logic is, you know, rationalizing some things and making sense on some things, and your emotions are lagging behind, and that's very typical. You know, it's very rare that the emotions and the logic in these traumatic experiences are in alignment together. It's very rare, guys. Okay. So your emotions haven't caught up with your logic as well. All right. That's an observation that I'm going to make, and we're going to go ahead and continue here. And she says her narc abuse from her egg donor, aka her mother, made her suicidal several times. Okay. And then after she experienced that, she ends up marrying a narcissistic spouse because, she hadn't healed from those previous offenses. And she was trying, her inner child was trying to reconcile that with the spouse. So now she's getting narcissistic abuse from the spouse, which made her wish that someone would push him off of a cliff. Yeah, because right now, at that point and in that relationship was a catalyst for you, even if it had to be at the end of the marriage. All the while, he was chipping at you, chipping at you, chipping at you. And you had already been chipped at from, your narcissistic mother. So here he comes, and enough becomes enough. And once a survivor actually reaches that fed up point, and I hate to use this R. Kelly song because, I'm not crazy about R. Kelly's personal life, but the song when he makes, when a woman's fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. There you have it right there. When a survivor is fed up, there's nothing that narcissist can do about it. And that's what happened here. He just pushed you to the edge, and then either you had to back up off of that edge and just allow him to keep pushing you back to the edge again anyway, or you say, you know what, I'd rather jump off of this edge than stay here on this cliff with you. But then when you jump off, you find out you're on better grounds, actually. And you needed to make that jump. It was scary, but you needed to do it. And it sounds like she's done that. So let's continue here. You say you hate it, that you wasted so many years with the likes of him. Yeah. Yeah, your eyes were blinded. They were shut during all of that time. But you said he will not win, though. Okay, so we know that this survivor still has so much fight inside of her. She is not giving up, and I commend her for that, because it sounds like she's been through a lot of abuse starting from a very early age. Okay, so she says it's tough right now, but she's determined to live her best life. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, we can read between the lines here that ex-narc is probably, not being cooperative, especially if there's children involved here, and, dragging things out, being irresponsible, smear campaigning, just all types of horrible things that they do when they lose their grasp and they're trying to punish or trying to torment from a distance, abuse you from a distance. She has a lot going on here. But, she says she's determined to live her best life, and I commend her for that. And that means, loving it right where you are. Living your best life is doing that on a daily basis. It's not saying I'm going to live my best life when I don't care about this situation, when I feel fully healed, when I make X amount of money, when I move into this neighborhood, or when I get this prestigious this and that. Living your best life is appreciating each day and each moment, guys. That's what living your best life is. All right? So learn how to be in the present. Learn how to be in the moment. Because guess what? We really can't change the past. And the present hasn't come yet, So all we really do have is now. That's very accurate, guys. That's very, very accurate. So living your best life is learning how to be a present, but you can't be present if you're so engulfed with the past. And what is the past? Everything that the narcissist put you through, and your mother narcissist, and all of the toxic people, and all of those trauma and experiences. And I understand, in a healing process, why we revisit things to get what we can from it and move forward. But that's what we do. We get what we can from it and move forward. All right. With the emotional maturity to know that, you know what, I can't change any of that. I did the best that I could. I figured it out, or I got into my strength when I did. And that was divine timing for me. Okay. So, the years that you wasted, it wasn't your time yet. You hadn't evolved yet. So you were somewhat freely basically going along with this until you had evolved far enough, or you got enough in your strength to be able to do what you needed to do. All right. So she says, I thank you so much for your videos. How do I stop caring and get over it? See, that's the thing. That's really harsh. That's really harsh for you as a survivor to say to yourself, how do I stop caring and get over it? Well, it's a process. So you're just not going to jump from A to Z in one day. I'm going to say that right now. It is a process that you're going to go through. And if you want to go through it properly, you need to be caring and feeling the different things and all of the aspects of the situation so that you're really getting it this time. And you're getting it to the point where once you heal from this, you're actually growing, at the same token, and you're not going to repeat this cycle. You're not going to be repeating this with another person. All right. But, let's get more. I can give you some tough love here to help you move forward, because the better question is, how can I start progressing further in the healing process? Because maybe it sounds like you're a little stuck right now. Like, I'm stuck here in the hating part. I'm stuck here in the anger part of the grieving process, because that's what I'm feeling here. That's what I'm feeling. So how can you let go of the anger? How can you let go of the anger? Because, when we get angry about things, there's an element of control there, and then you're seeing the lack of control that you had in this situation, and the control that you relinquished to other people here. And that is making you angry. It's not just one thing. There's a few things. And, that could speak to a person that hasn't forgiven themselves. Okay? And then a person that's not forgiving themselves, they're not going to be in a position to let go of a situation or experience because you haven't forgiven it. So it's going to be really heavily on your mind and in the front part of your mind at that case. So if you can work on forgiving yourself, there's no perfect humans. I say this all the time. And life is a journey that we live and learn. All right. We get over it by saying, you know what? I'm an imperfect person. They're an imperfect person. Every person on this earth is an imperfect person. I had my lessons to learn in this situation. And I'm taking them. I'm going to be patient with myself. I'm going to be gentle with myself. And I'm going to give myself the time that I need to heal from the emotional and psychological traumas. I mean, there could be other abuses here, but I'm not going to put words in her mouth that she did not, put here in her statement, okay? I won't jump to those conclusions per se. But, I'm going to be gentle while I heal those, and I know that it takes time. But in the meanwhile, I can separate from how this person is treating me to what my worth really is. I can separate this person being a narcissist in a relationship that I had with them that's toxic with what I'm going to have in my present and what I'm going to be seeking in my future. So how can you stop caring and get over it? Learning how to forgive yourself and making your peace with the past. Letting go of any idealizations about perfectionism. And some of this may be also looking at your ego. And then the rest of it is letting nature take its course. Like I keep saying, it really is a process. All right. So then she says, it pisses me off that they can jump from one target to another, even while with us. Okay. But a narcissist is going to be what a narcissist is. So once you detach from having a different expectation, it's not going to piss you off because A, you're going to make the healthy decision to not be a part of it. See, it's pissing you off because you were a part of it. It's pissing you off because he did it to you. You know? And you see the blatant disrespect of that. And they've done it to a lot of people. So, once our eyes get open, yes, it is very, very normal and natural to feel infuriated, to feel angry. And I made a 3-part series on anger. I will link here. Let me just write it down. Anger series link to the end of this audio right here, okay? And I highly recommend that you watch that. All right. And then the last part, she says, while we are left to pick up the pieces and detox from their nastiness. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, actually. And you're like, huh? Yes, it is. It is. You need to pick up the pieces and you need to detox from their nastiness. It's just not fun going through that purge, you know? So this person had a field day with being disrespectful, not giving you that real commitment, not reciprocating, and so forth and so on. They come, they turn your life upside down, and then they're on to the next once it's the discard, right? Either you discard them or they discard you. All right, and then they leave you to pick up the pieces because they're being a narcissist. They don't like to take accountability. They don't like to take responsibility. Okay? So you need to be able to detox from their nastiness. That's a part of the purge and it's a part of the cleanse, sweetie. So it's actually a good thing. All right? And while we are left, yes, you need to get left by them. That ends the chapter. And that ending, you're like, well, I didn't deserve that. I didn't deserve for it to end like that. I didn't deserve to have to experience X, Y, and Z. But, the universe was screaming at you and giving you those experiences so that you can increase your boundaries and your self-love and your self-respect, your self-esteem, and so forth and so on. So, yeah, they're going to leave you now to pick up the pieces because you need that. You need to get left by them. That ends the cycle. You need to be the one to pick up the pieces. Can you imagine if they came and picked them up? They wouldn't really be picking them up. They would be breaking them into smaller pieces at that point. So, you know what? At that point, you got to cut your losses and say, you know what? Well, I don't want you to touch anything over here anymore. I'd rather go ahead on and pick up these pieces at this point. Let me do it. You don't want them to touch anything else, all right? They're just going to make it worse. And then you're beginning to detox from their nastiness, which is a good thing. But it's the purge that we don't like the feeling of, all right? So, and since this, actually, we're going on 23 minutes here, I'm going to just let this response stand on its own. And I'm going to go ahead and make that second video reply into its own video. I didn't think this one was going to take so long. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to support the channel, great ways to do that is to always like the videos, guys. It helps the channel grow. It helps push the content out. Leaving comments helps. Sharing the video helps, all right? If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, guys, I do offer that. Go to my website, lakiacrawford.com. That link is below in the description. Voice calls, FaceTime, Skypes, email coaching, all types of things available, guys. I have a Patreon where you can get monthly membership and actually get coaching with me through that way. And you'll save because you're paying a monthly rate. You're locking in a monthly rate. So you support me over on Patreon if you want to support the channel and the things that I do and, help me to be able to create more content for you guys, all right? It's not all about money, but resources certainly help, okay? I have a support group over on Facebook for survivors of narcissistic abuse. That link is below all of my videos, guys. So go ahead and click that link if you want to have that extra support and you're healing from narcissistic abuse. It certainly doesn't hurt. All right. The channel does accept donations through PayPal, through Venmo, through Cash App. That information is always below all of the videos for those of you who want to give. People give all the time, and thank you for everyone that does that. I'm not one to come on and name out names because I don't know who wants to remain anonymous. You know, a lot of people just give and they're just giving from the heart. They don't want that shout out. So if you are making donations to the channel and you want to shout me out, I'll just go ahead and start saying this from now on. Just go ahead and put that in the notes section. You can shout me out if you want, Coach Lakia, or something to that nature, and I'll know that, okay, I'll give you a shout out. Otherwise, I'll probably assume that you want to stay anonymous. All right, but thank you nonetheless, whether you're anonymous or not. Your generosity and your thoughts and your care and your well wishes, all of that means so much to me. All right. Thank you guys for growing this channel so wonderfully and all of the support that you guys give me. I hope that this video has helped someone. And what do I say at the end of all the videos? Never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work, of course. And until next time, guys, please take care.